Happy Christmas, or as they say in France, Joyeux Noël. And it is a happy Christmas because Jesus inspires us and invites us to live lives of faith. Let's talk about this for a second. In the Christmas story, according to Luke in the Bible, in chapter 1, verse 50, he quotes Mary, the mother of Jesus, saying this beautiful verse. She says that mercy will be on those that live in awe of him for every generation. I love that. In one single sentence, Mary and Luke are able to define something very beautiful about living a life of faith in Jesus. Now, there's a lot about the Christmas story that's tricky to dissect, particularly if you're looking at it with a scientific or historical brain. I mean, take, for example, the virgin birth. She was engaged already to her husband. That's one thing. You don't have to draw a very long bow to think that maybe they were knocking boots before they got there, right? But we do know that in another account, it says that Joseph wanted to quietly divorce Mary so that she didn't have to suffer the pain and anguish and judgmentalism from their local religious authorities. So Joseph wouldn't have done that if it was his baby. So that's one thing. But then, Mary could have cheated on him and all that kind of stuff. There's all these kind of things that if we're trying to dissect and chop it up from a kind of like a historical and scientific point of view in order to prove its truth and prove that it's real, we run into all these problems, right? But I don't worship Jesus or follow him or live in faith of him so that I can prove him to be scientifically true. I enjoy the mystery of a God that would come to earth and give his life to save people instead of taking lives away. I think that's quite profound. In fact, living by faith has made such a difference in my life that even if I got to the end of my life and learned, let's just reason with me for a bit. If I got to the end of my life and learned that all of it was wrong, it would have still been worth it. Because of the difference Jesus and following Jesus and having faith in Jesus has made in me. It's made my life better, fuller. I've become a bigger person and I have more joy and peace and patience for my kids and more kindness for my wife. And I see the best in people because of the life Jesus inspires me to live. It's like he's given me this extra bit of mercy because I live my life in awe, in wonder, in amazement of who he was. Don't get me wrong, it's interesting conversation to kind of poke around with scientific and historical truths. In fact, I love doing that. I'm a context guy, so I love reading the Bible in context and trying to figure out its truth. But a far greater gift is to live in faith and wonder and amazement and in awe of who he is. Why don't you try it this Christmas? Live in awe of who Jesus is, and maybe you'll discover something worth more than gold or frankincense or myrrh. Merry Christmas.